Okay, hello. Okay, I'm working on this towel today. I believe it's been fired once or twice. I've lost track. I would have started it with velvet underglazes with a little GB mixed in, ghostly bory, and then I would have, it looks like you can, I've used my three-dimensional glazes here. Looks like I also did some trailing. So now I'm going to fire it again, and I'm going to fire it at 06, and I'm going to use some decals, and fairly ugly decals until I do stuff with them to make them unugly, because you wouldn't want to just fire that little white cup and think you're going to have something nice. So it's really early, it's really easy to do decals, okay? And you never quite know, these are vintage, and you never quite know how they're gonna fire. And most of them come with instructions, some don't. This one says 018 to 017, but I'm not gonna fire it at 018, 017. Sometimes I do. If I have a nice deep color so they're not going to be obvious. But lots of times I fire them at 06, and at 06 a lot of the green goes away and the white gets left, and what green there is sinks back into so what I think I'm going to do is I can get this. Can you see okay? Down a little bit more. No, yes, there we go. I'm going to, I've got a trail line here, and I've got underglaze, and then over that it looks like I put some kind of opalescent, and then I trailed another opalescent glaze, probably an opalescent. I'm not sure what that it was. It's sort of like a heathery, purpley blue, and there's a little heather in here. Blue usually stays at 06. Some green stays at 06, it depends. But this one I have fired at 06 before, so I pretty much know what to expect. That mostly it'll be very, you won't see it except deep down into the glaze. It'll melt back quite a bit. It'll be like a ghost image back there. So I like ghost images. I like to work the level of not just around the tile itself, but deep into the glass of the melted glaze, right? So the glaze is basically glass, right? Melted onto clay as opposed to glass on glass. Huh? So I put and I got these a long time ago. And you usually know these are vintage when you find them in these wrappers here. You find them in wrappers, it says, you know, but it'll tell you the temperature, and if you want exactly what you have. But if I tell you anything, it's to tell you not to want what you have there, because you want to use it in new and different modern ways. You don't want to look like every white cup you've seen out there with a decal on it, okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to put it in this blue back in here. Then I'm going to do some more glaze work over here. So they're going to soak. I've got them in warm water, and I really need a little more water, so I'm going to go get one. So some take forever to come off that thing, but these particular ones are really quite good. And so I am not even trying to be pretty with it. I will overlap them. Where they overlap, usually the one before it fires on, but I'm not worried because remember, I'm not going for the exact image. So can you see it where I'm going down there? Yeah. So it's right here. You can see because of I have the deep blue there already. So I'm just going to try to do the big areas first. Get them covered. And right here, I don't know if you can see it right here. Yeah, you can. It's going into her face. Now, sometimes I like that, but in this case I don't. So I'm going to take it and just cut it. While it's easier to cut it in place with a sharp pair of, I think these are bonsai scissors, you know. So they're pretty good. And the little things you can always fill in little places with them. Just remember which side is up. So, yeah, that is important. Maybe I better tell you about that. Okay. So basically, usually this side is the upside. And if you're not careful, they'll float away in the thing, and then you won't know which is the upside. And if you put them on upside down, that is backwards, that's how you put them on. But if you put them on this way, you can usually tell the difference because it's still, if you put it on that way, it's not going to come out at all. Okay, so don't do that. And here comes Danuta, long-suffering. And she is taking dry glazes out of packages and putting them in jugs, right?
Right.
She did it outside so that to keep the dust down and not kill us any sooner than we need to be killed, right?
Indeed.
Good indeed. And I don't even know if I turned down the sound for this. Hello. All right, let me get this back up. It's off. Let me see if I can fix it. Thought I had it, but no. Because I lost my other one. It's around somewhere, but I don't know where.
I was wondering who you were talking to.
Yeah, I'm talking to the video. And I'm just showing people how to do decals. You know, this is not good. This is not good. How are we doing? Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. You don't stick your head down there and say hello?
No, that I'm good.
No, it's a pretty horrible experience, I find, to watch the video later and see your face like that. I usually go into shock of, oh my gosh, do I have that many wrinkles? Yes, I do. Okay. Can't get out of it. Well, I guess you could. Find a good plastic surgeon. Oh yeah, there's people in their old age that have plastic surgery. They just do not look right. Something to be said, looking your age. All right, hi. You see what I'm doing? Once it's stuck down there, it's easy enough to sort of lift it in place and sort of, I mean, it depends on how neat and anal you are. I can be pretty anal, but this, not so much. These I want them overlapping. I don't want them looking like, and so it'll move back. You'll barely see them. It's the kind of thing you see after you buy it when you get it home, and you're like, ooh, how'd she do that? So, shh, don't tell anybody. Now I'm telling you how. You do not have to follow the directions on decals, and a lot of other things I find. Okay, so there's that. And every time I get a little piece, I'll just stick it someplace that it's can fill in a gap someplace. It doesn't matter because we don't need the. So let's see if we got another one here. It doesn't take long, but you can get really into it. So here, can you see? Yeah. So I'm just pulling it up a little bit so I can cut it around the bird so it's not on the bird. And then I'll just move that up there. And I'll let it overlap the edge of the tile, and then just, when it's soaking wet, it moves around pretty easy. It also tears very easily, so I don't even care about that so much. So I'm just cutting off anything that, and even if it hangs over a little bit, that'll burn off in the kiln. It hangs over the edge of the tile. So it doesn't matter if they're overlapped a little bit. The bottom image is the one that will, so if you overlap on the edges, the bottom edge will be the one that shows. So here's some more of this, and once again, I'm going to move it, cut it around her face, don't even have to be really neat about this, because there are some other places that I could use this. Where can I use it? Oh, right here. There's one. There's a little. And here's a little. I'm going to just overlap it. There. I'm almost done. How long did that take? Not. There's a little over here. So this one I'm just going to use. Put part of the decal down, trim it, and I can trim it more after I get it. So what you'll see is the little veins of the flower. They tend to stay a little bit. The orange dot, pretty much, unless you fire at the proper temperature, will disappear. And and we get a little up here. And I don't want a straight line, so I'm going to put the straight line on the edge. So that didn't take long. Done. Okay, so what you have to watch for is bubbles. But then, since I don't want a perfect rendition of this onto the thing, I will probably hold off even doing that. So, but you can soak up a little water like this. Use a cleaner rag than I'm using. You could even, I have, put a wet glaze down first and drop these right into the wet glaze. I've got some very nice effects that way. I just never know, but I trust the muse. So I just go with the flow. Seems right to me. Seems like the muse is saying go for it, and I just go for it. Because, I mean, if you really don't like the decals, and sometimes I don't, you can burn them back off by just burning them higher, right? Most of them. Black and brown and blue tend to stay. Everything else, you burn a little higher in the kiln, it'll go. All right, so where we got anything left over that I didn't get? There's some up there. There's some right there. Just go over. And there you go. I can stop this thing. Now, you can, I usually let it dry a little bit, and then you can take a rubber you can take a sponge and smooth it out and smooth out the bubbles. Now, my surface is not all that smooth anyway. So if you're worried, you can go like this. It's a pretty soft one. And what that's going to do is bring some of the water out from underneath it. Another thing is you can't just go put this in the kiln and you've got this done and then fire it. You have to wait a good 24 hours, depending on your climate. If you're in a really humid climate, I would wait longer. Because basically, if there's water trapped underneath that hasn't evaporated, it won't fire. It won't fire into the thing. It won't melt into the glaze. The whole point of the decal is the glaze underneath it softens, so you can't do it much on bare clay, though. If you had some black in there, it might transfer, but I wouldn't try it. Why would I? Because I'm using it when I'm firing bare clay. I'm usually firing, for one thing, I'm firing up at 6, not 06. At 6 it would be gone. I found that out the hard way one time. Wasted some good decals, but hey, that's how you learn. You just try things. Well, that, you come take one of my workshops. Okay, so I will do a workshop towards the end of March on tile. So, and that will probably be the only one I do for the year. It might be a big one. I might make it a double. I don't know. Because it's nice. I don't usually get one fire in. But if I could do, say, a 5-day, and then 2 days off, and 5-day, we'd get in 2 fires, maybe even 3. Who knows? Depends on. Okay, so I guess there was some color on there. So that's all there is on that. And I'm going to stop this video.